Have you also been wondering what are these magnificent stones? And I think I like to call them beings as well. What are they about? Why are they so mysterious? There are so many different levels to them. Have you also been wondering what else is there about crystals? Because to me, I have been looking them up, I've been reading about the energies and things, but I know that there's even more to it. So, with that curiosity in mind, I want to share with you the things that I have learned from my experience and also a few things from what I've heard from others as well. And yeah, I'd like to share that with you in this video because I think crystals are absolutely fascinating. I have so many questions still around them, and bit by bit I'm chipping away, and it's like, all right, I'm getting somewhere. So I'd love to share where I have gotten to from my own experience in this video. So I'd like to start with the fact that they have super high energy, they're super high vibrational beings, their consciousness is incredible. And so we can use them in beautiful, beautiful different ways to aid us with different things. So one of the ways that I love to use them at the moment is to help me with areas in the house where the energy still needs a little upgrade. And I'd love to give you this example of our hallway. So my partner and I live in this lovely little house, and ever since we moved in, for whatever reason, something about the energy of the hallway, there is always loads of stuff in there. And I don't even know why it's there or what it is. It's just random stuff just accumulates there and stays there for ages. Like if we're getting rid of something, we'll put it in the hallway. And then, in the past, it might have been there for a month until we actually get it out of the house. So I was getting really sick of this scenario because we've been living here for 5 years now. So I was like, right, it's time to do something about this. So I got my 3 favorite crystals. This one was included. And I placed them in the hallway. And, a few weeks went past, nothing really happened. And eventually, maybe after like a month or 2, I started to see how we were managing to keep the hallway clear for the first time in ages, like consecutive weeks on end. We were keeping the hallway clear. I was like, oh my God, it's finally happening. Finally, we're able to just have a nice, normal, clear hallway. No shit in there, no stuff. And it was so wonderful. And I was like, oh, finally, we've done it. And then the other day I was like, okay, well, I can probably take these crystals away. And guess what? Since I've taken the crystals away, it has been going a little bit back more towards the old scenario. So I think that area isn't quite ready yet energetically to maybe be without the crystals because while they were there, it was always completely fine. However, this is just such a beautiful example of how crystals can help with the energy of a place. And the way I like to see it is that if there is kind of like a denser energy, I like to see it that the crystals break it up, break it down, break up that energy and then kind of create this space for this new, more beautiful energy to flow in. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just how I like to think of it in my mind, what they are up to there. So that is one amazing way that we get to work with crystals. Then the other day I was feeling really, really ill and I was feeling really off. When you sometimes feel ill and then you feel like you can't be connected anymore with your inner love and your inner joy. And that doesn't happen to me very often anymore, but in this instance it did. So I was like, oh, that's sad. I'm feeling ill and I'm also struggling to connect with my inner joy. So luckily, now I feel so supported that even when that happens, something magical can happen. So I chose to rest up. I went to bed but I wasn't mentally, I was feeling really like so many thoughts and kind of agitated. So I wasn't feeling relaxed at all. So I was lying in bed, I was like, okay, what do I do now? I wasn't even thinking about sleeping. I was just thinking about just resting in some way. And then I had the idea to pull an oracle card. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I pulled a beautiful oracle card from the Stones deck from, what's she called? Rebecca something. I can link it below. Anyway, I pulled one of the cards and it was so beautiful. It was a card about scrying, which is the process of tuning into a physical object, tuning into the energy of a physical object and becoming one with that energy actually. So I picked up, not this crystal, but I picked up a crystal and I was sitting there and I was really focusing on the crystal. I was really becoming one with its energy. And it was amazing what happened after that, because I felt really amazing connecting with the crystal in this way. I think the crystals love it as well. And then the crystal just, or me tapping into the energy of the crystal, it just really calmed me to the point where I was actually feeling sleepy. And then I was asking myself, am I meant to have a nap right now? Because it was 10 in the morning. So I was like, maybe a bit early to have a nap. And the inner guidance that I received was like, yes, take a nap. It's going to be good. So I was like, okay. So I had like a 2-hour nap or something. And I woke up afterwards and I felt amazing. I was feeling connected with my inner joy. I was feeling happy. I was feeling relaxed. And I still felt a little bit ill. Like I wasn't fully healed yet. But by the end of the day, I wasn't even feeling ill anymore. So I literally went from feeling miserable, feeling really ill, feeling pretty horrible, not connecting with my inner joy at all, to connecting with a crystal, having a nap, waking up feeling amazing, thanks to the guidance of the crystal and the oracle card as well that I pulled. So this is to show the importance and the beauty of what crystals can do, right? So when we have crystals, we also want to take good care of them. They really loved us taking good care of them, right? So we can charge them with the full moon, the light of the full moon. We can put them outside so the full moon light gets on them. I like to sometimes put them in the earth. They love being around other natural elements. I have this sort of jar with bits of nature that I collect and put together. And there's a crystal in there, and that one's always got super nice energy because it's so happy to be around with the other kind of natural bits of plants or whatever there is in there. Dried seed heads, things like that, feathers. And they also, some of them like to be washed. You'd have to look up which ones like it, which ones don't. Some of them don't like that. And a really powerful way of clearing them and helping them stay vibrationally really high and with the best energy is singing to them. And I was introduced to this by a couple of different people, and they love being sang to, and that actually clears them. I wish I could explain the science behind it, but especially kind of the clear ones, which have that kind of lovely structure that catches the light with the little rainbows. That's where debris can get caught. So when you sing to them, that actually clears that right out. And so the other day I was singing to one of my crystals, and it was really interesting because I'd also heard about polyphonic singing, where as you are singing, you're also able to like bring out another note through a special movement or holding your mouth in a special way. And I hadn't really mastered it so much, but I was singing to this crystal, and then the polyphonic singing just came naturally. I swear the crystal was aiding me in finding my polyphonic voice, because I think they love being sang to in a polyphonic way. So I was singing to it polyphonically, and I was like, wow, I'm really good at polyphonic singing. I'm so sure the crystal was helping with that. So that's a beautiful way of clearing them. And then I heard also this beautiful wisdom that a woman shared in a channeling. And she was saying that in Atlantean times, they were not only singing to the crystals, they were singing with the crystals. because the crystals, so the people back then were so high vibrationally that they could actually hear a sound being emanated from the crystals. And so they could hear the sound of the crystals, and then they could harmonize with the sound emanating from the crystals. And apparently they would gather with the crystals and in groups of people and sing all these harmonies and with the crystals. And apparently that was really good for the energy of the grid of the earth as well, of Gaia. So it's also a really beautiful way of doing grid work and upgrading the energy of our planet as well. So crystals are just such a marvel. I mean, one time I went to work, right? And I always have 2 crystals with me when I'm in the office, or 3. I always have some crystals with me. And I was chatting with my colleague, and he is not into esoteric stuff at all. He's also a good friend of mine. And so I was talking about the crystals. I was saying how he's really spiritual, because he is very spiritual. He just doesn't speak about it in those ways, or doesn't use that kind of language, and he rejects esoteric stuff outright. And then I was like, the crystals. I was like, oh, here you go. Take a crystal. And then he was holding it, and he was like, yeah, actually, this is quite nice. And then guess what he did? He put it onto his third eye. Intuitively, he doesn't even know about the third eye, what a third eye is, and he literally put it there. I was just watching him like, oh my god, maybe the crystal was guiding him towards putting it on his third eye. I do not know, but he felt like doing that, and he did it, and he just did it like it was the most normal thing in the world, just like, yeah, just putting it on his face, on the third eye. And I was just watching him like, do you know what you're doing right now? So yeah, they are so mysterious. They have so much to offer. I also have heard that in ancient times they were able to actually store information in crystals. So I don't know how they did that, but maybe they could like upload something from their consciousness into the crystal, and that could like store some sort of information or memories or something. So I'm sure there's so much more to know about them. So if you know some really cool, weird, awesome things about crystals, then do let me know in the comments. I'm fascinated to hear more about them. They are so powerful. I know that they're also used for healing. There's crystal healing as a thing as well. So cool. So yeah, do let me know if you know more, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.